Welcome to the Gray Area on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. And be sure to follow me on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, also at Kevin Gray Sports. You can catch me on the weekends, every single weekend, with my partner, Chris Arnold, on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. And, of course, the home of the Texas Rangers. The Dallas Mavericks, away from home, got themselves a 124-117 win over the Denver Nuggets. Luka Doncic was special once again with 38 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds to go along with 4 steals and another terrific performance. Maxi Kleber came up big in the fourth quarter with 9 fourth-quarter points, including what we thought was going to be the go-ahead three-pointer before Nikola Jokic hit a 2-point jump shot to send the game into overtime, where the Mavericks outscored the Nuggets 15-8 in the OT period. Luka Doncic and Maxi Kleber continued to dominate in the overtime period. Luka Doncic continues to get himself rounded into shape, as we saw his first triple-double of the season against the Houston Rockets and backed that up with another near triple-double, what would have been his 27th triple-double of his career, but nonetheless, in a special performance in a plus 14 in the plus-minus column, Luka Doncic showed the very trust in his teammates that a young superstar will continue to need to show as his team continues to grow and move forward in this season. It was a seminal win for the Dallas Mavericks in this sense because last year they struggled a lot in clutch time. This time, at least for one game against the Denver Nuggets, they were able to show the kind of poise and composure in the fourth quarter to stay with it, to get themselves into the ball game at the end of the third quarter, going on a 17-7 run. James Johnson at the beginning of the fourth quarter had a quick 7 points and was able to help the Dallas Mavericks continue to maintain and get themselves back into the basketball game. And as you saw throughout this game, especially in the first half and really in the first quarter, both teams sloppy in terms of play, in terms of their turnovers, and have the inability to hit from the outside, especially the Dallas Mavericks, who only hit 4 threes in the first half. They wound up hitting 12 threes in the second half and overtime to wind up shooting 40% from the three-point line. But this game was about the stick-to-itiveness, if you will, of the Dallas Mavericks. Willie Cauley-Stein had a difficult assignment against Nikola Jokic, one of the best big men in all of the NBA, a leading MVP candidate through the first couple of weeks of this season, but for the most part did a pretty good job when he wasn't in foul trouble. Maxi Kleber was inserted into the starting lineup for a second game in a row after making his first start against the Houston Rockets, and has found himself becoming one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA, not just on the Mavericks themselves, which is important because the Mavs now find themselves in the top half of defensive efficiency through the first couple weeks of this season. More importantly, Luka Doncic showed the kind of trust in his teammates that he's going to need to show as he continues to develop himself into a championship player. Rick Carlisle, after the game, talking about Luka Doncic trusting his teammates, and not only that, but the kind of shots that he has continued to hit in difficult stretches and periods. Here's Rick Carlisle talking about some of that after the game against the Nuggets. Hey, Coach, obviously a great team win tonight. Can you talk about the trust that Luka continues to develop in his teammates, especially the example at the end of the ball game, hitting Kleber for the open three-pointer to get the game obviously to overtime there?
Yeah, it was just the right basketball play. And, you don't have to tell Luka Doncic that, he's going to calculate situations. He's going to make sure the ball's in the right place at the right time. And he was doing a good job of sharing the ball at the right times, but also getting the ball in the basket. That back down post up he hit where he split the double team, that's a hellacious shot, and then the one where he ended up taking a little fadeaway at the free throw line, another very difficult shot. But, those were two disjointed possessions. And as the best player on the floor, he knew that he was the guy that needed to get the ball in the basket.
So Rick Carlisle understands what needs to happen for this team continuing to go forward. Obviously, things flow through the best player in one, Luka Doncic, but the trust that he has shown in his teammates continuing to go forward is going to be paramount as well. And also the fact that Luka Doncic had 4 steals against the Denver Nuggets. If this team is going to continue to improve on the defensive end, it's going to have to take its mantra from its best player. I'm not saying Luka Doncic needs to be an all-world defender, but he has to show the kind of competence on the defensive end of the basketball that will inspire his teammates to continue to do the same, because we know this team is going to go as far as Luka Doncic takes them. And if he is making the commitment on the defensive end of the basketball the same way that he does on the offensive end, that is going to force his teammates to make that same commitment also, because regardless of how good your offense is, defense travels. And if your best player is traveling with his defense night in and night out, or at least being competent on the defensive end of the basketball, this team has a tremendous opportunity to win a lot of basketball games. And as you continue to watch this team, you see his teammates continue to get better also. Maxi Kleber talking about it last night after the Mavericks were able to get this win against the Denver Nuggets, about the confidence that he is building now, especially knowing that his teammate Luka Doncic in the biggest of moments is going to trust him. Here is Maxi Kleber talking about some of that confidence continuing to grow for him after hitting a big shot and into overtime against the Nuggets. Hey, Maxi, what does it say about Luka's confidence, and not just you, but all of your teammates, to trust you with that shot at the end of the game? And what does that do for your confidence, knowing that you can hit that shot in those big moments, continuing to go forward now?
What does it say? I mean, I saw the play now a couple of times. I would say, in general, when you play like a regular game and it's not the last shot, this is the right basketball play. Obviously, we know that Luka is a clutch player and can make clutch shots. But today he decided to pass the ball, and like I said earlier, I'm just trying to be ready and take that shot with confidence. And everybody who would have got that pass is doing the same thing. You know, shots are going to fall and not whatever, but you got to have the trust and believe in it, that you put the work in, and just keep shooting it.
All right, thanks, Maxi. Good.
So Maxi Kleber, one of the most versatile players on this basketball team, who could defend a multiple positions on the basketball court, but more importantly, continues to show the confidence of his three ball through the games that he's played, and showing the willingness to take those shots in big situations is going to be paramount for this team going forward also. Because as good as Luka Doncic is, they need a second wing scorer, a perimeter scorer that can go get a bucket. I'm talking about a guy like a Bradley Beal or a Victor Oladipo type that can go get a bucket when needed. Because as I'm starting to look at the composition and makeup of this team, I know Kristaps Porzingis is on his way back, and he's going to help in terms of the scoring load and also, of course, on the defensive end. But at the same time, I'm starting to look at Kristaps Porzingis maybe as a Chris Bosh type, a guy who may be a second best player, but may be better as a third option, especially when you can have a perimeter scorer go get buckets when they need to, when Luka Doncic doesn't necessarily have it on a particular night. Because a lot of Kristaps' stuff is facilitated from Luka's offense and the spacing that Kristaps provides by his ability to shoot from the three-point line. But nonetheless, as the Unicorn gets ready to make his return, hopefully here within the next week or so, this Mavericks team is going to need a lot of contributions from a lot of guys. And as long as they continue to do so, they're going to find themselves competing in a lot of basketball games, especially against a Denver Nugget team that made the Western Conference Finals just a season ago. Here's Rick Carlisle talking about the idea that this is going to be Luka Doncic talking about the idea that as far as his defense is concerned, what that means not just for his offensive game, but why it's important for him to continue to be better as a defender, which Rick Carlisle liked. Here's Luka. Hey, Luka, in addition, obviously, to your 38 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds, you also had 4 steals tonight. How do you feel about how your defense is continuing to grow, especially getting in the passing lanes and getting those 4 steals tonight?
Yeah, I think my defense is growing day by day. I mean, game by game. I'm just trying harder, not letting nobody attack me. Trying my best, and I think it's gonna grow every game.
Kyle?
So Luka Doncic understanding and recognizing that his defense continues to get better game over game is going to be important for his team as they continue to go on. That's going to be important as this team continues to move forward throughout the rest of the season, because as they do, they will find themselves potentially competing in the top half of the Western Conference. Because again, the defensive calling card is what this team is going to focus on throughout this entire season. We know how good they were a season ago in terms of their offensive efficiency, the best in NBA history. But this team is going to have to find themselves being in the top half of defensive efficiency. And when you're getting the contributions from Willie Cauley-Stein taking a tough defensive assignment against Nikola Jokic, Maxi Kleber with his versatility, and the ideas that guys like Josh Richardson and others who came up huge against the Denver Nuggets when the game was tied At 114, Josh Richardson went on a mini 5-0 run of his own to find him getting the Mavericks lead, similar to what Jalen Brunson did against the Chicago Bulls when the game was in the balance at 85 all. Against the Houston Rockets, the game was at 85 all. Jalen Brunson goes on a mini 4-0 run of his own to help give the Mavericks the lead, and they never look back from there. The same way that Josh Richardson did against the Denver Nuggets. Those are the kinds of contributions that is going to be needed for this team to continue to show that they are a complete basketball team, because this team will not go anywhere near where it needs to unless it gets the contributions from multiple players every single night, because that scoring could be limited, especially in a bigger lineup with Maxi Kleber and Willie Cauley-Stein, but more so than anything until Kristaps Porzingis comes back to where he can provide his 20 and 10 that he does on a regular when he's healthy and in the lineup. But this was about Luka Doncic and the trust that he showed in his teammates and his willingness to do so. And that is the markings of a player who is starting to grow in terms of his championship mentality. Every single great player has to go through this and learning how to win, not only in clutch time situations, but trusting his teammates to help win in clutch time situations too. Michael Jordan had to learn it. LeBron James had to learn it. Kobe Bryant had to learn it. All the greats of this game have to learn how to trust their teammates. And you saw for one of the first times in Luka Doncic's young career, trust his teammates to not only make the correct basketball play, but have his teammates execute it and reward him for the kinds of things that he has done, because he's going to get doubled and triple teamed a lot. You saw that against the Denver Nuggets. Teams are going to double him. So the Mavericks are going to have to make teams pay for doubling and tripling Luka. And for the first time in a clutch time situation, you saw Maxi Kleber do that and making the Nuggets pay for crashing on Luka finding the open man, and there you go. So this is a seminal win in a lot of different ways. I know it's early in the season, Kevin. It's only 8 games of the year, but these are the kinds of things and winning habits that this team will have to continue to develop as they continue to get better going forward. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to subscribe to the 105 to the Fan YouTube channel, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, also at Kevin Gray Sports. This has been another episode of The Gray Area on 105.3 The Fan. We'll talk to you later. Peace.